Their radio played softly until the music broke with a crackle of static. This is an emergency bulletin. Authorities have reported an escaped patient from the state asylum. He is considered armed and dangerous. He has been described as a large man with a steel hook in place of his right hand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Shae.
I'm Landrey.
Sorry, we've been trying to like change up our intro a little bit, kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
We'll get a good one eventually.
We just kind of go with what our heart desires that day.
That day, yeah. This is our first time back together in a week. I was on vacation.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, yeah. That's all I got.
It was fun. I went to the beach. It was my last summer vacation, and I just came home and decorated my whole house. I'm obsessed with it. Decorated it for Halloween, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm feeling really good right now.
It is. It just feels so nice. A cozy, comfy home with all the decor.
Yeah, Landry's is so cute. She did all this like garland under her cabinets and stuff, and it just really inspired me. So now I have garland under my cabinets. Landry came to my house wearing a skirt. Now I'm wearing a skirt.
I actually had the same headband that she had on in my car, but she didn't know that. But I took it off because it was giving me a headache.
Mine's soft. It don't hurt my
Mine is
head.
a soft material, but it's too tight.
Too tight. Oh.
And with these on?
These are from Temu, so they're like terrible.
Yeah, I don't know where I got mine, but I've washed it and dried it. So like I didn't mean to, clearly, but the drying process of it made it a little bit tighter on my brain. And I don't like that. I can't really do pressure on my head at all.
Sensitive.
Yeah, like if I wear a clip too long.
Sensitive girl.
Yeah. That's why I carry Tylenol religiously. It's in my bag right
Constantly?
beside me. Yes.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's what happens when you get old. We're almost 30.
Yeah. No, I got out of bed last night. So yesterday, Saturday, I picked stickers out of my yard, like stickers, was picking them and putting them in bags and stuff because our stickers are just crazy pants. And I didn't think it was bothering me while I did it. But yesterday when I went to get out of bed, my whole entire back locked up. My lower back completely locked up. And I like couldn't walk.
You're like, and I'm 900 years old.
I was like, this is insane. I just need to go to the bathroom. And I like couldn't get to the bathroom.
Oh, bless it. That sucks, man.
Yeah. It was not a good time.
Did you see the story about the guy in Dallas?
Oh, I don't know. What are you talking about?
So this past weekend, there was a man found behind a Dallas motel, completely beheaded.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't hear about that.
Yeah. They were investigating it. They found the guy who did it. Long prior record, all kinds of things. There's also a video of said beheading on the motel's like security cameras.
Oh.
You can't see anything. It's all blurred out.
You can just see the head roll.
But they literally show you this blurred blob rolling down the road. Yeah. It's his head.
I was totally being sarcastic.
100%. He kicked it. It was his boss or something.
Kicked his head?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah. I can't believe you hadn't heard about it. I was going to send it to you, but I was like, I don't want to tell her because I want to talk about it, obviously.
No.
But yeah, crazy. There's some crazy people in this world.
That's terrifying and a little too close. At least it's someone that he knew.
Yeah, not just a random person.
Yeah, that makes it scarier.
Yeah.
Because random is like, oh, so what if I'm the random person they want to come at?
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Yeah, super scary.
No,
I thought it would be interesting to talk about on here. I don't know all the details. They caught the guy. I know that. He has like a long prior record of all kinds of assault and, all kinds of things. So.
No, that's terrifying. Don't like that. I bought a projector to watch outside and have movie nights outside. And this whole time Aaron's been home, every night since we got it and I got the setup and stuff, I've put it up and gone outside and watched TV. So like I was watching Wednesday out there last night, Saturday, Friday, every night. And Aaron was like, why are you like, what is up with that? And I was like, one, I enjoy it. I like being outside. Like if we had a really nice setup out here all the time, this is where I'd be all the time.
Yeah.
Two, I'm not going to be so comfortable to come sit out here by myself in the dark when you're gone.
When you're not here.
So I'm taking advantage of it while you're home.
Yeah. Sorry.
He was like, oh yeah.
Fair.
Because I'm not going to feel so confident sitting outside in the dark where I live because there's no like light where I live.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to set up the screen a certain way too. Cause like I've tried a different way every day that I've set it up, but my back has always been like, I'm going to have to face I'm gonna have to put my back in the corner of my fence and face that way. But then my back is to the raccoons. And I swear they were watching
Damien
movies
was cracking his ass up when he sent that Snapchat the other night. I never opened it because I was playing my stupid game on my phone. And he showed it to me and he was like, oh my God. He goes, that's a freaking raccoon. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the Snapchat that Landry sent, or on her story. I don't know if she sent it to me or not.
I did.
And
I sent it to
I
my,
watched it
most
over and
recents.
over and I was like, what is that? And he was like, look at it. It is a literal raccoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is so funny.
There's
Just
at
a
least
little peeking his little head out like underneath
he's in the attic of a house.
yeah, underneath the roof. And he's like,
Yeah. The house behind me is abandoned.
oh,
Yeah, completely abandoned.
didn't know that.
No one's ever lived there since we've been there. And once a year they'll come like clear all of the like landscape and then it grows right back up. So they just cleared it recently. But yeah, there's I knew that there was at least one raccoon and there's a family of skunks that lives through there too. Cause we live on the river, right? But our corner of our property has the culverts to go down to the river. And so a lot of the animals use that culvert. So they use our property to get back to where they're going. So like our property line, the skunks use and the raccoons use. Like I pulled up to the house the other night and there was a skunk. And then the other night when Aaron and I were watching the movie, he had Biggie and it started following the fence. I said, Joseph Skunk. And he grabbed Biggie's face.
Oh, yeah. So she couldn't smell it.
Or just start barking or move or turn or
do
whatever.
anything.
Because she's like a yapper dog. And, but I also said it really quietly to where Biggie wasn't going to start like looking around, you know, but it just followed the fence line, went through the fence into the abandoned house. But there's at least 4 raccoons up there. I knew there was one. And the other night, like you can hear them kind of scratching on the like siding of the house to like get out and look at you. And they really are. They just like hang down. But like last night, I swear I was outside for probably 4 hours and that raccoon was hanging out the whole time. I genuinely, I think it was watching Wednesday with me.
It was so cute.
Yeah,
I loved it. They're like, this is nice.
Yeah, this
girl.
is fancy. Girl. Yeah. No, 4 of them showed up the other night. Like I knew there was one and then I saw another one. I was like, okay, so there's 2. And then I hear this obscene ruckus and I thought it was cats fighting. Aaron was like, they just killed a rat in that attic. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then the next thing I knew there was one and it was like its butt was hanging down. So it was just its tail. And then there was 3 faces. And I was like, so there's 4.
I love that so much. I love that.
They're pretty cute. They don't really mess with me. And I may or may not throw my old food back there quite often.
They're like, this girl,
She like us.
she's got it, the hookup.
Yeah, I really do. Because I don't like throw, especially when I make like soups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't like putting that much stuff down my garbage disposal and I'm not going to put it in my
the trash can. Yeah.
And so I just go,
The best part about living in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, just go yeet it over the fence. And those coons, they love it. So
They like you.
yeah, they're like, this my,
You said, oh, we have a movie night.
yeah.
What's for dinner?
I swore because last night I was out there alone and I had made popcorn. Well, one, I had eaten my dinner out there. So I had meatloaf and green beans and corn and it smelled delicious and it tasted delicious. And then a little bit later, I made some popcorn. And that whole time the raccoon's sitting there staring at me. And I was like, I swear I'm going to go inside and go pee. And I'm going to come back out and it's going to be in my chair like with the bowl of popcorn.
Absolutely.
And I took my flashlight actually at that point because my phone doesn't shine that far. And I actually have like a big flashlight. And so I took it with me. So when I'd come back out, I did a scope first because I was like, that's the last thing I need. Attacked by a raccoon.
God.
But
that's so funny.
they're cute.
I love that.
They chill. I like it. Don't bother me.
Little friends.
Yeah. Okay. So your episode from last week actually inspired me.
Ooh.
It's what I'm going to it's what started where I'm going with this week's topic.
Okay. I like it.
I am going to be retelling classic campfire stories.
Oh, yay. That's
With-
fun.
Yeah, with a little bit of a twist. I like rewrote some of them and kind of added my own. Just did whatever I wanted,
Okay, I like it.
but I just did classic campfire stories.
Let's do it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, we're kicking off the holiday season.
Yeah, I felt like it was, and like I put every single story starts with like leaves and roads and autumn.
Perfect.
I was like, it's
the
September,
vibe.
baby.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll start with The Hook.
Yes.
I had to start perfect, you know? So, if I can read today, we'll see how this goes. The road curved ahead, weaving through the woods. Maples and oaks sat on either side with their branches reaching overhead to form a tunnel of bright autumnal colors. Shadows stretched across the pavement, and wheels crunched over fallen leaves as a young couple drove down a quiet and winding stretch of country road towards Lover's Lane. The couple eased into a clearing just off the road and parked the old car. The boy had his windows cracked, letting the evening breeze in while the girl leaned against him. Their radio played softly until the music broke with a crackle of static. This is an emergency bulletin. Authorities have reported an escaped patient from the state asylum. He is considered armed and dangerous. He has been described as a large man with a steel hook in place of his right hand. Local residents are urged to stay indoors and avoid remote, wooded areas. The boy chuckled under his breath. Classic scare tactic. They always do stuff like this around Halloween. It is probably just to keep kids from sneaking out here like we are. But the girl wasn't amused. Turn it off. I don't like it, she said. And then they both heard it. A long, sharp drag of metal against metal. The boy froze, scanning the mirrors. Did you hear that? The girl grabbed his arm. Please, let's just leave. But before he could start the engine, movement flickered past the corner of his eye, a shadow slipping between the trees. He squinted. It's probably just some teenager messing with us. Then, without hesitation, he shoved his door open. Stay here, I'll scare them off. Don't, she yelled, but he was already out of the car and striding towards where the shadow had passed. Leaves crunched underfoot, and for a bit she could see him silhouetted by the car's headlights, calling out into the dark, Hey, I see you. Silence. Then a scream. She quickly fumbled to lock the doors with her heart pounding so loud she could hardly hear. From the tree line came a heavy dragging sound, like something enormous being pulled through the leaves. And then the car rocked. Once, twice. Something slammed into the side of it so hard it rattled the windows. She screamed, slid over into the driver's seat, and slammed her foot on the gas. By the time she reached her just fishtailing.
Queen shit.
By the time she reached her driveway, her face was wet with tears and her knuckles were white against the wheel. She climbed out, still shaking, and that's when she saw it. Hanging from the door handle was a steel hook, the point bent and dripping with fresh blood.
Ew.
Ooh.
She ripped his hand off.
Yeah. There's so many different variations of that story.
I love it. And I'm so excited for the new one.
The hook? What are you talking about?
I know what you
now?
did last summer.
Oh.
That's what it's based off of.
Well, I know what you did last summer
Hookman.
is but they actually
Well, yeah, but I mean.
I'm we got spoiler
The Hook.
alerted for Vampire Diaries, so let's not.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I know. And Nino Dobrev. Oh, she'd
And
be
Shaun
calling
White.
him out.
He
Slay.
cheated.
Yeah, Slay Queen. She's called him out 4 times now.
Super bummer, man.
Yeah. He fumbled that
He
one.
was way out of his league with her anyway.
That's what someone was like, when you go down out of your league, they always mess up or something like that. They said something about fumbling so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Wild.
Yeah. What else was I going with there? Oh, yeah, the Hookman. There's so many stories of that, though, like the Lover's Lane one or the ones where they actually both escape or where one doesn't escape and the hook is still there or he jumps through the roof of the car.
Oh, yes. I've heard that. I've heard that variation before, too.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a classic.
It is. That's what I was like. I need just classic campfire stories.
I love it.
What are the stories that you tell when you're around a campfire? Trying to scare the shit out of everyone else around you.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them had too nice of an ending, and I was like, rewriting that. We will be changing this.
We're putting a Landrey twist on it.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit more spooky. Okay, our next one is just a classic Bloody Mary.
We love her.
Also a queen.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah. She's something.
She's something.
It was the first cool weekend of September when the air smelled like fallen leaves and the nights grew just chilly enough for sweaters. 5 friends crowded into an old 2-story house on the edge of town. The girls had been sharing scary stories all night while they were stretched out on blankets and pillows and a storm was building outside. Lightning flickered every so often, painting the walls in a flash of white, followed by the distant rumble of thunder.
Oh,
I know, what a dream.
God, that sounds so nice.
I know.
Ugh.
Even further, why you need to go to Scotland.
Amen. I'm working on it.
I'm like, side eye.
Next September.
Yes. Okay, well, tell someone I'm coming along.
Okay.
Someone suggested a game. Bloody Mary. It's just a story, one of them whispered, like an urban legend. She won't show up. But curiosity pushed them to head up to the bathroom anyways. They would light a single candle, stare into the mirror, and say her name 3 times. All 5 squeezed into this tiny space. The mirror above the sink stretched wide enough to catch all of their reflections dimmed in the candlelight. The storm outside rattled the window as they set the candle down on the counter. They joined hands together and they whispered, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary." For a long moment, nothing happened. Just their faces in the glass, eyes wide and breaths shallow. Then the flame of the candle wavered, even though there was no draft. One girl gasped, "Did you see that?" Her friend shook her head no, but her grip tightened. In the mirror, behind their cluster of reflections, another face appeared, pale and hollow-eyed, with her lips stretched into a wide smile. The girls screamed, shoving against each other to get out, causing the candle to hit the tile floor and sputter out. In the darkness, something moved. A cold hand brushed against one of the girls' necks. They burst out from the bathroom in a frenzy, scattering into the living room downstairs. Nervous, they flicked on every lamp in the house. When they finally calmed down, someone noticed one of the girls was missing. "Where's Hannah?" They called her name and no answer. Upstairs, the bathroom door was still wide open. The candle lay broken on the tile, and in the mirror, lit faintly by the storm's flashes, Hannah's reflection stood amongst them, staring and silent, even though she was nowhere in the room to be found.
Was she?
She got sucked
She
into
got
the
sucked
mirror.
into the portal?
Yeah, she's also in the mirror
Ew.
now.
Womp womp.
Yeah, pretty much all the stories that I read about that, which I don't think I'd ever heard that even when we did the Bloody Mary
Yeah.
episode, but most of the like urban legend stories that I read this time, for whatever reason, were like the girls disappeared into the mirror, or you could see a bunch of handprints inside the mirror,
Yeah.
but like varying sizes. So it wasn't
Yeah.
just like Bloody Mary's handprints. It
Yeah.
was like anyone who's played the game and
Huh.
been chosen.
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah, I'd never heard that version, really. And I don't know how, because I've
Mm-mm.
done quite a bit of research on, clearly I did a whole episode of her.
Yeah.
So
Ooh. Spooky.
as I was saying her name 3 times, I was like, I am so happy we don't have a mirror in here.
Yeah, not
and
anymore.
then I started thinking about my reflection in my own iPad, and I
You're
was
like-
like, yeah, I was like, oh, don't look at that part. I didn't like that. And these are the stories I was researching when I was sitting outside last night
Oh, you crazy girl.
in the dark with the raccoon hanging over my shoulder, you know, just chilling.
He's like, "Hey, girl."
Hey, do you know what's up? But yeah, nope, never heard that version of Bloody Mary.
I like that. I like that version.
I think
I've
it's
I've
creepier.
heard the handprints before, I think.
I've heard handprints, but not like someone disappearing and then the
Yeah.
handprints, you know? So that was interesting to me.
Very interesting. Sorry. Very interesting.
I feel that. We're sleepy gals.
Always.
Okay. This one is, I'm not even going to give it the title. I'm just going to start reading.
Okay.
The Christmas of September. goodness
Oh my
gracious.
God. Krampus.
The crispness of September carried through the open windows of the Harper house, where 17-year-old Claire sat curled on the couch with her textbooks. The Harpers had left for a dinner party. Their 2 children were already tucked in bed upstairs and fast asleep. It was one of those early fall nights where the air smelled faintly of smoke from someone's fireplace down the street. A jack-o'-lantern already sat on the Harpers' front steps with its crooked grin lit warmly against the dark. Claire had left the TV on for background noise, and the flicker of a late-night movie cast shadows across the living room. She checked her phone between math problems, listening to the steady tick of the grandfather clock in the hall. The house was calm and quiet until the phone rang. The shrill sound in the silence startled her. Claire answered quickly, not wanting to wake the children. "Hello?" There was a pause, then a low, rasping voice. "Have you checked the children?" Claire frowned. "What? Who is this?" Then the line went dead. Shaking her head, she hung up, probably a wrong number. But 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. She answered, more annoyed than frightened. "Listen, whoever this is." The same voice, barely just more than a whisper, "You should check the children." The line clicked off. Now, unease crept in. She checked the locks on the front and back doors, drew the curtains tighter, and tried to laugh it off as a prank or some creep with the wrong number. But still, she climbed the stairs to peek in on the kids. Both were sound asleep, breathing softly under their blankets. When she returned downstairs, she left the hall light on. The phone rang again. Her hand shook as she picked it up. "Leave me alone," she snapped. The voice on the other end chuckled, a low, horrible sound. "I'm already inside." Claire hung up the call with her pulse hammering. She dialed 911 with trembling fingers. The dispatcher's voice was calm and practiced. "Stay on the line. Keep the children quiet. We've traced the calls. They're coming from inside the house. Police are on their way." Her eyes darted down the hallway. Every shadow seemed to come alive. Every creak of the floor made her blood run cold. The seconds felt like hours. She could hear movements upstairs, slow and heavy footsteps crossing the children's room. Claire wanted to scream, to run, but she couldn't leave them. She clutched the phone and pressed herself against the wall with her heart pounding. Then, suddenly, the line filled with a noise. Not from the dispatcher, but something else. It was a deep and hissing breathing sound. She watched the dark hallway while listening to both the heavy breathing and slow footsteps. Then, there, half hidden by the stairwell, stood a figure. Tall and looming with his face lost in shadow, but the lamplight reflected off a sharp metal object hanging low in his hands. The front door burst open as 2 officers rushed in, shouting. By the time their flashlights cut across the room, the stairwell was empty.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like the way it said he was kind of shadowed, I am imagining he's coming down the stairs, and so the light only hits like the lower half of his body to where you can only see like the metal of the knife, but you can't see like anything really up. Maybe like his eyes, you can maybe see like the glow of like your eyes, because it's, you normally can see the white of your eyes in the dark, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like that. Because that reminds me of my pride and joy scream.
Oh, yeah. For me, I was like, why? What happened to you when you were being babysat that made you scared like that?
Yeah.
That's where my brain went when you said, I like that. I was like, why? What about that do you like?
Because that's my baby.
I do love Scream.
Me too. So much.
So I made Ella watch it, and she, like, one night, I think we watched just
you
the
gotta watch
first
them
one.
all.
Well, we had to go to bed because it was late. But, Murphy and Eugene had come home earlier than we thought they would, whatever, and I went home. But that's as this spooky season continues. I want to have outdoor movie nights a lot. And like, dude, I'll bring the projector here and we can do it here too.
Let's go.
And just have a movie night and just vibe. Because it just feels so nice. We bought a fire pit and everything.
I'm ready for it.
I think I'm going to go buy those like 1x1 pavers. I think I'm going to make like a 10-foot section in my backyard and actually have a real setup.
You should.
I agree.
Yeah, you absolutely should.
I agree.
I love that. Oh, God.
It just makes you, that's one of the things I realized recently is like you create your own magic and you can say it's up to the season and whatever, but like, girl, if I'm closing my blinds and acting like it's cold outside, then the season in my house is what I want it to be.
Exactly.
So you create your own magic. And I definitely think about that, like for the, like whenever I have children, cause I remember like the 90s Halloween and my mom didn't even really do Halloween that much.
Yeah.
Like we went trick-or-treating and stuff, but I don't feel like we really like...
My mom didn't decorate for Halloween.
No, I'm like, I don't feel like we decorated at all. But Christmas, I can vividly remember my Christmases. And so I'm like, that's where I'm like, you create that and the traditions. And I love that. That's, I think, going to be one of the best parts about being a parent is...
It's such a good vibe.
The excitingness of it. But
yeah,
I already love it just on my own.
So. I know, same.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, it's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad.
Especially
it's
when I have
for
a kid.
the kids.
Yeah, I have an excuse.
It's for the kids.
My excuse currently, whenever I put it up in the middle of August or whatever, and people are like, that's a little too early. I'm like, well, my husband works out of town and he only comes home this many times before Halloween. So I need him to be able to experience it too.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing for Christmas. I like the day of, like, as soon as Halloween is done, like, I don't really care about Thanksgiving. Don't care. Not at all.
Don't care to decorate for it.
No, I completely go right to Christmas. And, that's why Aaron this year, he was like, I have some floating holidays I need to take. Do you want me to do Thanksgiving? And I said, I don't care about Thanksgiving. Why would you take that off? Like, take off New Year's or for us to go on our trip, take a couple days there. But I'm like, I don't care about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
I mean, like the holiday itself, like I understand what it's made for, right? Yeah. I just don't care about the food or anything.
Me neither. It's not my favorite holiday. It's probably my least favorite holiday.
I don't like Christmas or Christmas and Thanksgiving food are very similar, and I don't like stuffing.
Oh, I don't eat stuffing. I don't eat turkey.
I will eat it, but I don't care for it. I normally just go for like the honey ham. And even that I don't really care that much about.
That's my favorite, the honey ham. My favorite is the leftover honey ham. When you make a ham mayonnaise sandwich. Oh,
I just like eating ham with my baked beans and my macaroni. And
you can literally eat that anytime.
I can cook it anytime I want. Green bean casserole too.
Yeah.
Love that. But yeah, I was like, no, I don't know how we got here.
I don't either. But that story, classic Halloween.
Yes.
Classic Halloween, like babysitter.
Yeah.
Murderer. Yeah. All for it.
You know, I never
The whole time I was just picturing Drew Barrymore. I just want you to know that.
I love her.
And with her handheld phone with the antenna.
Yeah.
Oh.
I, never really babysat kids ever. Ella and Nash, but they don't count. But I
at somebody else's house. I did it once, but I was over 18. Like I was a grown up.
Yeah.
Not like a, 15, 16
like
year
scared
old
teenager.
Yeah.
I don't think
but I was
ever
scared.
did.
It was fucking scary. I'll tell you that much.
You're like the whole time you're sitting there, you're like,
yeah,
SpongeBob in a corner.
Yeah. I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah. No, I babysat like one group of kids before, but I didn't feel that way at their house. I don't think. But other than that, and then I only did it like that one time. I don't really feel like I ever babysat kids.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one. The Wendigo.
We haven't talked about these at all, hardly.
No.
Okay, go.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. The leaves had only just begun to turn when the 4 college friends decided to spend a weekend camping in the northern woods. It was the kind of place where the roads thinned to gravel, then to dirt, and finally disappeared altogether into the wilderness. They set up camp in a clearing where the forest closed in around them and tall pines swayed against the soft breeze. They built a fire, cooking hot dogs, and telling stories as sparks drifted upward into the night. It was Alex who brought up the legend. You know these woods are supposed to be haunted, right? People go missing up here every year. By bears, someone laughed. Alex shook his head. Not by bears, the Wendigo. The others groaned, but he kept on, his face lit by the fire. It's an old story. It takes people who get lost in the woods, twist them into something else. They say once you hear it, you've already been marked. A branch snapped deep in the trees behind them, cutting through the night. Everyone froze, straining to hear. They laughed it off, but the mood shifted. By midnight, they zipped themselves into their tents while the fire outside burned into nothing more than embers. At some point in the night, Jen awoke to the sound of footsteps circling her camp. She held her breath, every nerve on edge, listening as the crunch of leaves passed her tent, then stopped. Then came the voice. Jenna. It was Alex's voice, but Alex was asleep in the tent next to hers. The steps dragged away into the woods. Against her better judgment, Jenna unzipped her tent and peered out. The clearing was empty under the moonlight. She glanced towards Alex's tent, and it was open, but also empty. By morning, he was still gone. The others searched, calling his name through the trees. They were miles from town, and the woods seemed endless. Then they heard it, a faint, "Help me." It was Alex's voice. They ran toward the sound, crashing through underbrush until they broke into a smaller clearing, but what they found made them stop cold in their tracks. What looked like Alex stood at the edge of the trees, except his body was gaunt, stretched unnaturally tall, and like his skin had been pulled tight over his bones.
Ugh.
His eyes were hollow, glowing faintly in the shade of the pines. His mouth hung open, with the voice falling out of it, low and broken. "Help me." The friends stumbled back, but the thing lunged forward in a blur of movement, impossibly fast. The woods swallowed their screams, leaving only the sound of the wind through the trees. By the time searchers found their campsite days later, the tents were slashed to ribbons. The only trace of the 4 campers was a set of elongated footprints leading deeper into the forest and vanishing where the pines grew too dense to follow.
Ew.
The creepiest part of that is imagining your friend being a little bit taller, a little bit like more gangly, and the mouth just hanging wide open and just a voice coming out, but no movement out of the mouth.
Yeah.
That,
Yuck.
horrifying.
Yeah, that's scary.
The woods are so creepy,
Oh, the woods are terrifying.
but I love them. Like, I love the woods. Do you not remember at my old house, like, it was just woods all in the back. You'd go up the creek and then all into the woods.
All through there.
And never once was I nervous. I should have been at least nervous for snakes. Wasn't.
Never.
We found like there was an old house situation that had like an old couch in it, old TV, shoes from like the 1800s, whatever. Not really, but it was those old shoes.
Yeah, like loafers.
I don't even know. Just like old, like wooden, almost soled shoes, like not leather or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Very old shoes. And that was one of them. And then you'd go further up in the house, like back. There was one time my brother and I did find a tent. And we were like,
yeah.
But like we found old Coke bottles, like the old glass bottles, all sorts of stuff back there. And we went up in there all the time. I remember there was one time, it was me, him, and Bailey. And we were back up in there and we were in a group and we said, whoever makes it home fastest wins. And we all just split in different ways and just started running. And we didn't know where we were. Like it was just like instinct to get home.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever see the pink house that was over by, did you ever go to Jaylee's when she lived over off of?
Yeah. Because have you ever driven past there recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would go off in the woods next to it.
Like it sounds familiar, but
we would like go through this fence and like go through these woods and you're just like walking through woods. Like there's nothing out there.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden you just come out to this little pink house that's just in the middle of the woods. There's no driveway. There's no like driveway. There's no like walkways or anything. You just come up onto this like old abandoned pink house. We always wanted to go into it so bad, but it was locked. And we didn't know if it belonged to anybody, but it didn't look like anybody lived there. It was the creepiest thing. It looked like a dollhouse.
Yeah.
I'm like, that just can't be a good thing.
No. That's how those houses were that were up behind us. They didn't have trails to them. It was
they
like
were just there.
Whose property is this?
Yeah. But it was also in the middle of the day.
Yeah, definitely
dark
not at night.
woods. I'm not doing none of that at night.
No, if I'm scared in the woods at night, I'm sitting in one place. I'm not moving. I'm not.
Yeah. No.
fetal
Seen enough
position.
movies. I'm good.
I'm fetal positioning it
Mm-mm.
and just hoping for the best.
Mhm.
I don't really think there's ever a good outcome though, whether you run or not.
No, typically not.
No. So
don't go into the woods.
yeah, stay in your house with your doors locked and don't do anything ever again.
If you haven't learned anything from this podcast.
Well, you might not learn a lot from us actually. Okay, this one I've heard this before, but it's normally mixed with the upstairs babysitter version. So, October had settled in fully. The air was crisp and smoky, and the sidewalks were littered with leaves. On Friday night, Megan arrived at the Whitfield house for her usual babysitting job. The Whitfields were wealthy. Their house was big, old, and full of antiques. Megan had grown used to the odd creaks and the way the furnace grown to life, but it always just felt a little too quiet, especially once the parents left for their long dinner parties downtown. The children, Emily and Noah, were already in their pajamas. She read them a story by lamplight, listening to branches tap their window as the storm outside built. Once the kids were asleep, Megan padded back downstairs, wrapped in a blanket, and tried to focus on her homework at the dining room table. That's when she noticed it. Through the open archway into the den, slouched in the corner beneath a tall grandfather clock, was a clown statue.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
It hadn't been there before. At least, she didn't think so. It was life-sized and had a porcelain face painted into a grin. Its glassy eyes reflected the glow of the fireplace, and it sat with one hand resting on its lap while the other clutched an old and faded balloon. Megan shivered, laughing at herself. The Whitfields had weird taste in art. Maybe they'd brought it down for Halloween? Trying to shake the unease, Megan pulled out her phone and texted Miss Whitfield. Hey, just curious, the clown statue in the den, it wasn't here last week, right? Minutes ticked by with no response. She turned the TV on to drown out the silence, every so often glancing towards the den. And every time she swore the statue was angled just a little bit differently. Her phone buzzed. Finally. We don't own a clown statue. Get the kids and get out of the house. Call 911. The blood drained from Megan's face. God. She stood slowly, the blanket sliding off of her lap, and her gaze flicked back to the den. The corner was empty.
I'm going to throw up.
See, I've heard that multiple times, but it's normally the clown is upstairs in a rocking chair in the kids' rooms.
Oh, no.
Like in the room with the kids.
No.
That's normally the version I've heard.
I hate clowns. Look at my legs. I have goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Chicken skin.
Ugh.
Yeah, Nash said, please do a clown story. And I was like, this is perfect. So here you go, Nash. He's scared of clowns. He's like, absolutely not.
Now he's going to be scared of the dark.
In his bedroom. Love ya.
Oh, God.
He should be more scared about the fact that they live across the street from a cemetery. Be so for real right now.
Be so for real.
And his window's the front window that faces the cemetery.
Low-key, I wish that I, lived by a cemetery just because of the vibes.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me.
Ugh, foggy.
But also, it's have you ever heard the thing and it's someone, they're like, why would you haunt the cemetery? Why aren't you going to go haunt your house or whatever?
Yeah.
I imagine the cemetery is just a party. This is the block party.
Yeah, this is where we all just kind of hang out.
We're going to block party it and then we're going to go home.
We're going to go scare some people.
Yeah, we'll be back. What that story also made me think of is Jade's old house with the knight in shining armor statues.
Oh my
everywhere.
God, yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, those were scary.
Our cousin had it's like Shae's cousin, but I took her in as my own too.
Yeah.
But she had full-sized knight armor statues.
In her house.
2 or 3 of them.
So walking around in the dark, which we did often.
Yeah. Go
for
in the middle. We stayed the night at...
We lived there at some point.
Yeah.
You definitely did.
I did. Yeah. All throughout high school, really. Because Melvin just took care of me. He just loved me. He's just like, yeah, come on in, girl. But yeah, they had statues and stuff like that. And their first house, they were scary on their own in the dark. And for whatever reason, Jade was a night owl. So if you were there, you were a night owl. So you stayed up all night. So you were walking around in the dark to get snacks. Exactly that. They also had an automatic trash can. When you'd walk by it, the lid would just open. So you're already on edge. And then you walk by it and it's like, and you're like, oh.
I forgot about that.
Good. It scared me every time. But their second house was way creepier because it was outside of her bedroom. And then you had to go down a spiral staircase. And then I feel like there was one downstairs too. But they had it upstairs. And so you had to pass it. I think the other ones at the other house, they were more at the front door or something. You didn't have to pass them.
Yeah.
This one you had to go past. And I was always like, ooh.
Yeah, you never know.
Skirted it, ran down the stairs. Yeah, but she had another kind of kitchen area upstairs where she had snacks and drinks, so you really didn't have to go downstairs.
Oh, nice.
Unless you really needed something.
I really didn't have. I didn't go over to that one very much.
I think I was at that one. I was at both a lot. I was there a lot. It's just, I don't know.
That's so funny. God, the memories that we have, man. So many things. We
Weird.
have a memory for everything.
Genuinely. It's me scratching.
Oh, I was like, I hear scratching somewhere.
It's my dry ass skin.
Stop. That's crazy.
Yeah, told you.
Oh, that's funny.
You said.
I like how you knew immediately.
Don't worry. It's me. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. We've tried this before in here, and it became a viral TikTok video for us, and all of our lights turned out.
That's not gonna happen this time.
No. Well, my favorite part was someone in that was like, someone's turning your lights off. I'm like, cue all of the lights plugged into a plug over here where no one can get.
Correct. Correct.
We literally don't have like lights.
Yeah.
We have plug-in lights.
Plug-in lights.
So that was fun.
Joke's on you.
Yeah. And the only lights that stayed on were these ones beside us that were like blue. So
Yeah.
they weren't really like illuminating anything. That was fun. It was a good time. Okay. So we're going to talk about the usual just black-eyed children.
Okay,
lore.
here we go. Strap in.
We got this far. No lights are off now.
Okay.
Okay. But if they really do turn off this time,
I'm running.
because last time, even though it was scary, it was totally from being overheated. There's no excuse for that this time.
Correct.
It was late October, and the wind carried the sharp bite of coming winter. Dry leaves scraped across the front porch of Daniel and Marissa's farmhouse. God.
Dies.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Wow.
The last orange and red clinging stubbornly to the trees out in the front. The couple had put their toddler to bed and settled into the couch with the warm glow of pumpkin-scented candles flickering between them. The knock came just after 10 p.m. 3 sharp raps against the front door. They exchanged a glance. Nobody ever visited this late. Out here, surrounded by fields and woods, neighbors were miles apart. Daniel was first, peering through the peephole. 2 children stood on the porch, a boy and a girl, maybe 9 or 10, dressed oddly in thin, old-fashioned clothes. The girl wore a pale dress that looked handmade, and the boy had a button-up shirt too big for his frame. "Who are you?" Daniel asked cautiously through the door. The girl tilted her head, her voice flat and strange. "We need to come inside. Please, our parents will be here soon." Marissa joined him, whispering, "Where are their coats? It's freezing outside." But something in Daniel's gut twisted. He didn't open the door. "Where do you live?" The boy stepped closer, pressing his hand to the glass pane. His skin looked grayish in the porch light. "Please let us in. We're cold. We can't come in unless you say it's okay." Marissa's eyes widened. "Unless we say it's okay? What kind of kids talk like that?" Daniel leaned closer to the peephole. That's when he saw their eyes. Pitch black, no whites, no pupils, just endless voids. His chest tightened. He stepped back fast, pulling Marissa with him. "Don't open it. Don't even get close." The knocking grew louder, harder, faster. The boy's voice rose, distorted now, carrying through the wood of the door. "Let us in. Let us in." The house lights flickered and the candle flame sputtered out. But from upstairs came the sound of their crying toddler, wailing as if it sensed something was terribly wrong. Daniel grabbed his phone and dialed 911, but when he lifted it to his ear, there was no dial tone, just static. The knocking stopped. Silence pressed in heavy, broken only by their child sobbing upstairs. Daniel forced himself to the window, pulling back the curtain. The porch was empty, no children, just a scattering of leaves blowing across the steps. He exhaled shakily until he noticed the glass. Tiny handprints were smeared across it.
Ew. We made it through the story. Oh my God. I just don't like that.
I'm gonna have a whole episode over them.
I just don't like it.
I mean, no.
Mm-mm.
Children are scary.
And they're so mean.
Yeah.
Like, they're so aggressive.
I want to know what their end goal. I want to know, but I don't want to know.
Not personally.
No. I just need someone to tell me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, whenever I was reading that, how it's like, nothing should be out here. How you say that every time. If someone is at my house, like knocking on my door at 10 o'clock at night, that should not be occurring.
No, ever.
What would you do?
I don't know.
Honestly,
Truly, I don't know.
Not sure.
Not sure. Have to see what happens, I guess.
My dumb ass at my house, I open the door. Hello?
Hello?
Not if it's dark outside. But
You want to come in?
you want to hang out? I do purposefully like leave my front porch light on no matter what at nighttime. No matter what.
So that if somebody knocks, I guess.
Well, just so, yes, you're going to like, and I have neighbors. Kind of. I mean, yeah, they're there. But like, so someone's less likely to come onto your porch when the light is on in the middle of the night.
That's true. Unless they're going to try to trick you.
Well, I mean, the first thing you do, like, you know, when you watch like Strangers and stuff and they try to flick the lights on, and it's because the lights bulbs have been taken out, so the front porch lights won't come on and on. Mine's staying on. Don't touch my porch light.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. And my back porch light, that's the one thing I hate about my back porch light is it is motion censored.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't normally work. Like I get home at night and I'm trying to walk up to my back door and it's not working, but it'll randomly
You're like, great.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And then it
just
randomly comes on.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Like the other night, I guess it was the same night that all of those people, I had the creepy experience with the solicitors. I guess it was that night. Because I had told Landon about it. And so he was anxious because he gets more anxious than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to look outside. And I was like, you're not going to see anything or you're going to open those blinds and there's going to be someone staring right back at you. And he was like, oh, okay. And he like opened the blinds. And then I had walked behind him and because my reflection in the window, but he was like, why is the light on? Because it's motion sensor. Why is it on right now? And I was like, it's raccoons, cats,
bugs,
skunks, something.
Yeah.
Doesn't work when it needs to, but.
God forbid.
Yeah. So I said here, and I got because my car is parked right there. I took my car keys and just hit my car, like locked my stuff because then it goes beep, 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 and like lights up everything. And he's like, good idea. I was like, yeah, I know.
Older and wiser.
Or more paranoid. And then I was like, well, realistically, have you looked at all the other houses in our neighborhood? And he said, yeah. And I said, why would they want to break into ours? Like ours does not look like it's the trophy house of the neighborhood. There's a lot nicer ones that you could like realistically, if someone's breaking in, they're breaking in to steal things. And they're most likely going to do it during the day when we're not here. I like had this whole rational thing. And he was like, you've thought about this. And I was like, many times.
Many times. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This one is interesting. The train barreled into Paris just as dusk fell. The sky was streaked with burnt orange and purple, the kind of autumn sunset that made the city look almost unreal, which is crazy because that was what your sunrise looked like this morning. Was like
did.
The orange purple. I finally got a glimpse of it when I was getting home to like my left. It was very pretty. Eleanor and her mother had been traveling across Europe for weeks, but tonight they were both exhausted, worn down by the constant shuffle of stations, carriages, and strangers. They hailed a carriage and made their way to a grand hotel near the heart of the city. Its stone facade loomed high against the darkening sky, lit by flickering gas lamps. Inside the lobby smelled faintly of lavender and smoke. The clerk greeted them in a French-accented English and checked them into their room, a spacious suite on the top floor. The room was elegant, almost too elegant for their modest budget. Tall velvet curtains, carved oak furniture, and a canopy bed that seemed to swallow Eleanor's mother whole as she sank into it. Eleanor helped her mother out of her heavy traveling dress, noticing the color in her cheeks. You should rest, Eleanor said gently. I'll fetch you some medicine. Her mother smiled weakly, her voice thin. Yes, just a little something, then I'll be better. Eleanor left her suitcase at the foot of the bed and hurried back downstairs, stopping at the front desk. The clerk gave her directions to a nearby apothecary, warning her it might close soon. She set out quickly. By the time she returned, the hotel was quieter. She hurried up the grand staircase to their floor, but when she pushed open the door to their room, she froze. It wasn't their room. The curtains were different, a dull patterned fabric instead of the rich velvet. The furniture was plainer. The suitcase at the foot of the bed was gone, and worst of all, the bed was perfectly made. Empty. Hello? Eleanor called out, her voice trembling. Mother? Silence. She stumbled back downstairs, panic rising. At the front desk, the same clerk looked up with polite confusion. Yes, mademoiselle? How can I help you? My room, Eleanor gasped. The one you gave us. It's changed. My mother was in there. She was ill, and now she's gone. The clerk's expression didn't flicker. I'm afraid you must be mistaken. You checked in alone this evening. No, she snapped. My mother was with me. You saw her. She was right here, standing beside me. The clerk shook his head gently. Perhaps you're confused from travel. Would you like me to call a doctor? Eleanor's blood ran cold. She looked around at the lobby, at the bellhops, the guests moving quietly in and out. None of them met her eyes. No, she whispered. No, no, no. She turned and bolted up the stairs again, racing to the floor where their room had been. The hallway stretched longer now, the wallpaper a different color, the carpet threadbare. And at the very end, she swore she saw something, a shadowy figure slipping around the corner. Her heart hammered. Mother! She screamed, running after it. When she turned the corner, the hallway was empty. Only one door remained at the very end, an old, heavy wooden door with no number. Her hand shook as she reached the knob and opened it. The room inside was dark, lit only by the slant of moonlight from the tall window, and there, in bed, lay her mother. But her skin was gray now, her eyes open and staring blankly at the ceiling. Around her neck bloomed a wide, dark bruise, as though someone had strangled the life from her.
Oh my God.
Eleanor's scream echoed down the corridor. She turned, but the door slammed behind her with a force that rattled the walls. The knob wouldn't turn, and when she pounded the wood with her fists, she realized something dreadful. No one in the hotel would admit this room existed. So it was like, it's almost like, it kind of reminded me of like when you watch all those movies and things like that, and it's like they do it as a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some sort of lore, or like there's a supernatural episode, and it's like the whole city is in on it, but they have to like sacrifice a person every year to like this tree in the woods, and there's like a killer who comes and does it and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to sacrifice someone to keep the spirit happy, to keep the place going, whatever it may be. And that's kind of how that made me feel. It felt like the clerk knew, because the clerk not only helped check them in and then told her where the drugstore was to go get medicine for her mom, and then acted that way.
Yeah.
And was like, no, you were alone. What do you mean?
Oh my God. That's wild.
And so I felt like it was almost like it almost reminded me of like a sacrificial type.
Yeah. Like they all knew, they were all in on it.
Yeah.
Ew. What a way to sacrifice somebody, by strangling them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The highway was quiet, the kind of quiet that comes just after the sun sinks and the world slides into that gray between day and night. Ginny gripped the steering wheel. She'd just finished a late shift at work and was eager to get home before the night deepened. Her breath fogged faintly inside the car. She made a mental note to have the heater looked at before winter fully settled in. The radio hummed low, a half-static country station out of town, as her headlights carved a path through the trees. For a moment, she let herself relax. Fall always made her feel safe, wrapped in the smell of wood smoke and the comfort of a flannel jacket. Then, she noticed the truck. Its headlights flared in her rearview too close. The vehicle had appeared suddenly from around the bend. It was an old pickup with one headlight slightly dimmer than the other. At first, she thought it was someone in a hurry, but then the driver flashed his brights. Once, twice. Ginny pressed a little harder on the gas. The pickup matched her speed. Another blast of high beams. Okay, creep, she muttered. Her phone was in her bag on the passenger seat, out of reach, while she kept both hands locked on the wheel. The truck stayed glued behind her. Sometimes it would back off, then surge forward again, the lights filling her mirror until she had to squint. Finally, she spotted the glowing sign for a gas station ahead, one of those lonely stations with just a single pump and a flickering fluorescent light. Relief surged through her. She pulled in fast and slammed the car into park. The pickup rolled in behind her, stopping hard enough that its front bumper almost kissed her trunk. Ginny's pulse roared in her ears. The driver's door opened. She expected some hulking figure, but instead, a thin man in a flannel coat scrambled out, waving his arms wildly. His voice cracked in the night. Get out of the car, now! Ginny's heart dropped. She shoved her door open and stumbled out, ready to scream. The man shook his head violently. No, not from me. From him! He pointed at the car, and Ginny spun around. In the back seat, shadowed by the night and the car's dim interior light, a figure crouched. The shape was human, but wrong. It had limbs that were bent unnaturally, and its body was twisted to fit in the cramped seat. Its face, half hidden, reflected a cruel, gleaming grin, eyes glinting in the dim light, and in its hand she saw the long, sharp curve of a knife. So there's something in the backseat of her car. So he could see it behind her, like the driver could see it in her back seat, and was just trying to warn her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ew.
So the whole time he thought this guy was about to be an ass, like Jeepers Creepers driving like that, and then he was actually just trying to help her out.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so
that's
that's
one
fun.
of my fears.
I know.
Hate that. Check the back seat every time I get in the car.
I do too, and I'm such an ass that one time whenever Ella and Nash were littler, I went with Murphy to pick them up from school, and I hid in the very back row. So then once they got in their car seats and stuff like that, hello. So I ignited their fear young.
Yes, you did.
They check now because Caden's done it to him too.
Now they have trauma.
Yeah. They're seasoned. But yeah, that is one of my fears. I check my rearview mirror, and like I'll check my back seat no matter what. I get in and look around. Like the other night, I taking care of Caden's dogs. I was going to stay the night at his house until I had an allergy attack and my eyeballs were falling out of my head. And it was 2 a.m. and I was like, I've just got to go home. And he lives in the middle of town, and I just didn't lock my car when I went inside. And so when I got out to my car, I was like looking. And, but the headrests on the back seat of my car, like back seat of my back seat, sometimes look like almost like a head. I don't like it. I know they're a headrest, but they're like, are the perfect shape sometimes. And I'm like, ugh. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, my drive home's not that fun either from his house. Really, my drive home from anywhere. Once I get further and closer to my house, it's not super enjoyable.
No.
Yours is worse because the trees are so close to the road. Mine is trees, but they're at least...
And there's a goat man somewhere out there.
He's waiting on you. He'll catch you again. If I'm dying, you're dying too, buddy. We all going out now.
We all going out.
Oh. Nope.
Mm.
Okay. The wind howled like a living thing outside Claire's house, rattling the old shutters and scattering dry leaves across the porch. Rain lashed against the windows, turning the yard into a blur of gray streaks. Honestly, that kind of weather is like the best sleep of my life. I will put on fake rain screens on YouTube. You can look those up. I will put that on my TV and I will take a nap with my blackout curtains and a fan on.
Big vibe.
Yeah, you don't need me. Best naps of my life.
Mm.
Her parents were gone for a late dinner, leaving her alone with Max, her little black dog who had been her comfort since she was a child. Max usually slept at the foot of the bed, but tonight he had gone under it, growling softly at the shadows in the corners. Claire shrugged it off. The storms always made him nervous. Hours passed. Claire had almost dozed off when she felt it, a cold, wet tongue brushing her fingers from beneath the bed.
No!
Max, she murmured, good boy. She let herself relax. The sensation was gentle, familiar. The soft, wet licking sound continued, rhythmic and comforting, which, by the way, whenever my dog licks like that, I about rip my head off because I cannot stand the sound. So I don't know where comforting falls into that. But then it changed, irregular, deliberate, dragging along her skin in a way that made her hair stand on end. The house groaned around her, thunder rattled the walls, and Claire froze. The licking wasn't soft anymore. It was insistent, almost mocking, like something was savoring her.
Ew.
The night dragged on, her terror growing, but exhaustion eventually pulled her under. She slept fitfully, clutching the blanket, listening to the storm and the occasional creak from the old house. When the morning came, Claire rolled over and saw blood dripping down her bedroom wall. In dark red was written, humans can lick too. I had to share that one. I've mentioned it so many times.
Ew.
There's a lot of different versions of that one, and it's normally where the dog is harmed. And I was like, I am not doing that.
We're not playing that game.
I'm not doing that. I took that whole section out. I said, absolutely not. I can't do harm to animals.
No.
So, don't know where the blood came from. Not the dog. Not in this situation.
It was his own blood.
Yeah, I'm like,
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
What?
It's from dodgeball.
Oh. I have a dodgeball tournament this week with work on Thursday. And I was like, should we dress up like the dodgeball characters?
Yeah.
And I was like, do you think other people do that? Instead, we're the draft dodgers. So it's like, and the Dodgers type of font, it says draft Dodgers. And then I made it have like a volleyball that's swooping down underneath. And then the back of it's draft beers clinking together.
Cute. Love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
Which I made that shirt last year and I printed it just fine. And this year it kept giving me copyright things. And I'm like, I made this logo. Like, what do you mean it's copyrighted? I made this.
It's my copyright.
Yeah, so what the hell? So that's fun. But when you said that just now, makes me think, do you remember that little boy on YouTube and he'd be like, blood? Blood? That's not funny.
Amen. I quote that all the time. He's a legend in my eyes.
Him, because I found his videos and that little girl is like, if you're going to kick my ass, I have to kick his ass first.
Yeah.
Talking about a monster.
Uh-huh.
Those two videos, I think, surfaced in my life at the same time.
Yes, absolutely they did.
Also around this time was, where's the chapstick? Boom, chick, chick, chick,
found the chapstick. Boom, chicka, chicken, tick. Dude.
We had a
classic.
Yeah. We were introduced to YouTube at a very young age, I feel like.
Yeah.
But when it was funny.
Right.
Just
humor.
Which I like it now, though. I like that YouTube's kind of like a TV platform. Like, I like that people, like, we post on YouTube. I like it. And I like watching, like, the ghost shows that they're just out there doing it on their own. They're not having to do the production companies. They're not having to pay people insane amounts of money. They're not having to get the yes or no. They just get to do what they want to do.
They get to do whatever they want. Yeah.
I like that. A little bit of freedom.
Yes, we love it.
That's all I want in this world. That's all I want. It's just like my own, just whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the last one. They say you should never mess with an Ouija board. Some people think it's just a silly party game, but there are stories that have followed the board for decades. The ones that remind you that it's not always just a game. This one happened in a small town. A teenage girl had a birthday party sleepover, and one of her friends bought a Ouija board as a joke. At first, they sat in a circle, giggling and asking dumb questions. Does Johnny from school like me? Am I going to be rich? That kind of thing. The planchette didn't move. They teased each other about being scared of nothing, and then, just when they were about to pack it up, the pointer began to slide, slowly. The girls froze, and one whispered, okay, who's doing that? But every single one of them swore they weren't moving it. Letter by letter, it spelled out Getto. N-O-U-T. They asked, "Who's there?" The board spelled N-O-W. The air in the room shifted. The heater had been running, but suddenly they could see their breath. And then one of the candles they'd set out flickered and went black, as if something invisible had leaned over and put it out. That was enough for them. They slammed the board shut and shoved it back in the box. But the girl who owned it couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That night, she woke up to the sound of her bedroom door creaking open. She sat up, heart pounding, and swore she saw a dark figure standing there in the doorway. The next morning, she told her mom, who was furious that they'd even touched a Ouija board. Her mother told her, "You don't invite things in if you don't know what's going to answer." So the girl decided to get rid of it. That afternoon, she dragged the board out of the fire pit She dragged the board out to the fire pit in the backyard. She struck a match, dropped it in, and watched as the flames roared to life. But instead of burning, the fire hissed, turning a green and blue. The wood cracked, sparks shot out, and she swore she heard something in the smoke, a low growl or a whisper. When the fire died down, the board was gone, nothing but ashes left. The next morning, she opened the front door to leave for school, and sitting there on the porch was the Ouija board. In perfect condition, no ash, no burns, just sitting there as if it had never touched a fire at all. Terrified, she tried everything. She tried throwing it in the trash, burying it in the woods, and even dropping it off at an old antique store. But every single time, it came back. Sometimes on her bed, sometimes in the hallway.
Yeah, that ain't it, girl.
Nope, that's like the classic campfire story of...
You don't play with that.
No. Of you can't get rid of it. This is upside down.
It is not a toy.
But yeah, I think that's all I've got for this
Okay.
week.
I liked that. That was fun.
Just
I
felt
love
like
a
it
good
was
spooky story.
I feel like it was a good intro to what we're about to jump into.
Yeah, because we only have 2 more episodes, not including this one, before Halloween. Like before
October?
we get into October.
I guess. I don't know. Tomorrow's already going to be the 16th.
So yours comes out Tuesday, and then mine's next Tuesday.
Tomorrow is Tuesday.
I know, but then next Tuesday.
Yep.
And then one
and then
more.
I'll have one on the 29th.
And then we're in October.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because I'm the one, I'll have one with how things are going to pan out in October. I'm going to have one back to back. I'm going to have 2 in 1 week.
Yay!
If that gives y'all a little hint as to what we're doing.
Hee hee ha ha.
Ha ha.
Hee hee ha ha. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Hardy har har. All
Okay.
right.
Well, if you have any stories you'd like to share, we've gotten even more submissions recently. So we have some that I have not read yet. Send them to sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com and go follow, like all of our social medias. We have a Discord. So if you want to get in the Discord and talk to us, we get in there and we talk. So I think that's it, though.
I think that's all. I don't have anything else.
See you next week.
All right. See you next week. Stay
Bye.
strange.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.